Okay, all right, next up in the back. Come on up. Be sure and, whoa, thanks. Sorry about that. When you come up to give your public comment, just be sure and direct it at us here.
Okay. I'm Curtis Macklin. This is the first time I've seen this because I just got back in the county. And with all due respect to Ralph and the people that put together the draft on this ordinance, it seems that everybody wants to kind of cut out the little guy in the neighborhood. I know you said that Ralph said that he wants to cut out people coming in from the neighboring counties that are no-grow counties. But by cutting down, being able to do it in the neighborhood, by people being able to grow on smaller lots of land and in their own backyards, or like the ordinance says, forcing people to do a 7-foot fence when most fences in neighborhoods are already 6 foot, and forcing people to put out even more money to outlay, and having to have 1/3 of an acre to be able to grow in your own backyard, or keeping the plants, was it 20 feet from the property line? It's really putting a restrictive burden on people that are on a small lot of land. And if you're going to kind of open this up to the people, which is what you should be doing, not to the big farmers, not to the big ag businesses, but for the actual citizens of the county and the people that kind of could use the money that this might actually bring to them. The jobs, the income, help them get off of unemployment, welfare, things like that, then you have to allow people in the smaller communities, the smaller backyards, to be able to grow. You can't make it where you have to have big tracts of land or put in a road to have proper fire access. You have to reach some kind of a middle ground where you do allow the people in the neighborhoods to be able to grow without it being so restrictive where they can't put out that money just to be able to grow something that is legal now in California. I mean, people already voted on this, and to make it so restrictive that the people can't do this in their own backyard, I think is just a little extreme. So I think that kind of thing is something that you guys really need to take into consideration and really start looking at the people that do grow in the backyards. Because it happens here in Greenville, we all know that. So, thanks.
Next. Oh, Harry, right here.
Hello, my name is Harry Rogers. I'm a local farmer and rancher and also the president of the Plumas County Growers Coalition. I would like to thank Kevin Goss and the other members of the Cannabis Working Group for volunteering countless hours in getting this draft ordinance hammered out. It has been rewarding to see the various interests work together on this. The voting members of the working group, along with Randy Wilson and Becky Herron from the Planning Department, Tim Gibson, our Ag Commissioner, Craig Settlemeyer, our County Counsel, and Greg Hagwood back there, our Sheriff, and also with input from the Plumas County Growers Coalition and the general public. I want to talk briefly about property values here in Plumas County. Many of you here tonight have no intention of ever growing cannabis or opening up a dispensary, but you own property that, if the ordinance is approved, would allow cannabis to be grown on your parcel. Next year, when the California Department of Food and Agriculture starts issuing licenses, the largest cultivation license available will be up to 1 acre, and the smallest type will be 2,500 square feet, or 50 feet by 50 feet. How many here could use a little extra income by leasing out a small plot of land to a responsible grower? That's extra income for you and more dollars for our local economy. The ordinance will help to increase property values by adding one more profitable use for that property. The ordinance balances private property rights with the rights of our neighbors by requiring setbacks, fencing, light and sound restrictions, and security measures. It has been a real pleasure for me to meet so many enthusiastic, business-minded people in the cannabis industry during this process. It's entrepreneurs like them that I see as the future of Plumas County. Responsible, hardworking men and women who want to pay their dues, shop in our local stores, enroll their children in our schools, and be part of a prosperous future for Plumas County. Thank you.
Okay, next, Brian?
Hey guys. Yeah, I have a few questions. One, cannabis is an ag crop, and I don't understand why Tim isn't in that chair giving a presentation. Number two, August of last year, the Board of Supervisors said that they had lost all confidence in the planning department, but somehow they're right back in here, okay? And I'd like to know why. I'm speaking for a disabled vet who used to live in Greenville, and his heart will always be here. But when he helped start all of this 2 years ago by telling his story, he did envision helping the kids. We're the third poorest county in the state, and it could end. But when the personalities have come out, and it's greed. We're talking billions and billions of dollars on this, and it's greed has surfaced. And I want to know, the most favorite word at the ad hoc committee meetings was I. I have a problem with this. I don't like how that's worded. And I'd like to know why the sheriff wasn't there, okay? This disabled vet who I'm talking for, he asked all of you to look in the mirror, okay? Because it came up, where's sheriff? We need sheriff. So the disabled went and asked him, okay? See, this shouldn't have taken this long, everybody. This should have been up and running right now, because the state says, follow state, you just can't go under it, okay? We should have been talking about money a long time ago. So, and then the type 5 something indoor, 22,000 square feet of indoor. Do you know how much power that's going to take? How much energy it's going to take out of Mother Earth? Because the only people I heard say we in those ad hoc committees was that disabled vet who wanted nothing better than this county to prosper. Okay? And you guys have dropped the ball. Anyway, I'm going back up to the cabin because I just don't trust anyone anymore.
Okay, thank you. Next up.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Chelsea Bunch, and I represent the largest Plumas community cannabis collective encompassing over 300 members. Majority of us which reside in Plumas County or its surrounding borders, along with 20 or so California-based cannabis nonprofits. I have attended most meetings and continue to give you valuable regulation input. I'm not sure if you guys are listening. Diamond Mountain Farms believes we need a 2-year residency clause with a sunset date, stronger verbiage for definition of residency. Is anybody taking notes?
That is right there.
If you don't see what you're up here, tell me.
I was looking over here.
Well, I'm taking.
Yeah, well, I never know when any meetings are actually posted. It's been really hard to see any form of transparency for this group, considering 2 of you don't even live in this county. I'm looking at you, Mr. Fogarty, and you, Mr. James, along with you, Mrs. Robinson, correct? You have a conflict of interest. You sell soil, so of course you want every type of license. I am also representing greenplumas.com, and I would love it if anybody would look that up. It's about regulations that meet Plumas's community. It's not just about cannabis, it's about the welfare of our people. We are concerned about the motives of sharecropping. Subdividing land and maximizing your limit on greenhouses per acreage can be easily done. Exploiting our lands and our simple yet full lifestyles. Can you imagine someone with 300 acres subdividing that into 20-acre parcels, followed by each having multiple hoop houses on it? Because I would hate to see that for our community. I want economic success for us. I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't. I'm more concerned about our quality of life than a cannabis collective. And I highly suggest everyone, again, please check out greenplumas.com. It hits on a lot of points that Ralph hits on. However, we are more versed in the zoning regulations and know what can be done and what can't. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Okay, anybody else for public comment? Right there.
I admit I haven't been coming to all of the meetings, but is there a limit to how many permits are going to go out in the county? I feel like I'm surrounded by marijuana right now. I'm concerned about the water table. And policing. I never see any policing out where I live. And I'm concerned what type of people it's going to draw. And maybe I need to come to some more meetings and do some more research, but that's a big concern for me. Dawn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I can't see your hand on, there you are.
Okay, my name's Colleen Bonfield. I'm a relative newcomer to this county. I've only lived here for 41 years, and that is considered relatively new in some things. I did my best today to read the stuff that was on the web, so I just have some concerns. It talked about that there would be, it couldn't be audible or not to be audible or odorous from off the premises, not involve storage or use of toxic material. So how will the county monitor that? I mean, I live where they were growing marijuana. I live on a parcel of land that's about 6 acres, and marijuana on the end of mine every summer, the smell, and it was in a greenhouse. So, but in the toxic material of the fertilizers, I mean, I've read newspaper articles about how toxic the illegal grows are. How will the county monitor the legal grows? And then if you already know you have 200 illegal growers in the county already, and you're not doing anything about it, how will you, I mean, those are some of my concerns. I have a concern about the water, ensuring that my well stays unpolluted. And granted, I have a personal interest, but I also carry that interest through the county. We have delicious water up here. We have an environment that I would hate to see change too much. And it's hard for me to say some of this stuff because I really believe in personal property rights. But I've kind of come to the conclusion that there has to be this balance somewhere regarding what's left. So I would ask you not to allow any outdoor cultivation, not to allow any distribution, not to allow properties to be rented to outside growers, to other growers. I see that you would be creating difficulty for law enforcement between legal and non-legal. All of those kinds of things. Already it's been stated that illegal cultivation has been causing damage to the environment. What will be in place to keep legal cultivation from causing concern and damage to the environment? Let's see. I believe that if you're going to do this, then you should have a tax in place that will pay for the cost of monitoring it, so that for general county taxpayers to absorb the cost for that without getting some kind of a reimbursement. I mean, we already have a county budget that can't balance very well. So if we're going to do new things, to keep that in mind. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, time limit?
Time limit.
All right.
again, I encourage everybody, a lot of these questions and stuff, I didn't want to get into a back and forth, but we have some copies of the draft ordinance, and some of these questions can be answered from reading the draft ordinance. I know it's pretty long and lengthy, but, or give us maybe an email or a call if you have any questions that we could answer offline for you, or to Randy or any of the planning department. But, all right, we'll continue on. I saw a hand somewhere. Okay.
Hi, my name is Ryan Kelly. I'm the founder and vice president of the Plumas County Growers Coalition. I wanted to clear up a few things for the people that haven't been reading. Prop 64 was passed November 8, 2016. There are 17 licensing types. Prop 64 that allows our county to write the fine print into each one of those licensing tiers, or ban the cultivation altogether. California is on the precipice of a $20 billion industry, and Plumas County has the ability to be on the front line. There's this thing called vertical integration. It was implemented into Prop 64 to keep the corporation out for 5 years. That allows us, the small farmers, from Plumas County, 5 years to create a locally sourced, locally grown commercial cannabis industry that doesn't have to sell out to the corporation after vertical integration sunsets in January 1st, 2023. Okay, it's so big. Like Amendment 64 was in Colorado, vertical integration sunsetted in less than a year. The corporation dissolved 45% of all commercial cannabis. It's huge. But I just wanted to say, without all of the information, it's hard to understand, where we're at here. But I mean, I grew up in Plumas County, like pretty much my whole life, and my intentions are rooted deep in the heart of this county. And I've been in 95% of these meetings, and I can say that every single one of these people up here, their intentions are exactly the same. Well, yeah, still,
Okay.
either way, doesn't matter.
Okay, listen, he's got his public, he didn't interrupt you, you're not supposed to interrupt him.
Either way, thank you guys. I appreciate all your hard work, all of your diligence, the amount of research, reading, everything has been absolutely ridiculous. So thank you. I appreciate it. Plumas County appreciates it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, right over here.
I know most people know me around here. It's kind of like we have watched Plumas County. Environmentalists came in and shut down our logging. They shut down everything. We have nothing for our children around here anymore. It's getting kind of ridiculous. If you look around, what kind of businesses do we have in this town here? It's time to, either get on the train or get off the train. If you don't live here, why do you bring your complaints to this county? I've lived here for 50 years plus, and it's getting ridiculous. We have a cogen plant.
Michael, could you just address the board?
Yes, we have a cogen plant shut down in Crescent Mills. Oh my God. Are we gonna wait until Plumas County burns down before the people actually start getting on the program? Come on. I'm not just here about the cannabis, but you know what? It's either get on the train or get off of it. If it's gonna bring money and business to this county, we need it. Because there's nothing. I'm tired of watching our kids leave this place. As soon as they get out of school, they don't want to go to college here. I got 3 boys, all 3 of them go to a different college. Why? Because there's nothing here. Nothing. They have nothing to look forward to. No businesses, no industrial, nothing. And everybody wants to just keep bitching about this cannabis thing. Look at what's happening in other places. They're raking in millions, billions. Come on. What are we gonna? We're gonna beautify our streets for what? There's nothing. Nothing. It ain't all about the cannabis. Come on. It's about, you know what? People need to get it all figured out. Write down some rules and regulations. I agree. If you're dumping a bunch of crap into the ground, then it needs to stop. You can grow organic. I'm a grower. And I I don't use a bunch of chemicals, I use fertilizers, but ain't nothing that ain't right out there in that valley already. Cattle. Come on. This winter, everything flooded, the flats got tore up. The county ain't taking care of the culvert pipes. We got levees. Crescent Mills never used to flood, we had a mill there. Come on, it's like, where's all this money going? I'm a taxpayer too. Every dime I spent gets taxed. Now it's time, these stupid meetings stop and let's figure it out. Dormitory, come on. If we don't want the millionaires to come in and do their thing here, then it's like, okay, because they're gonna come in here, grow their shit, get their money, and they're out of here.
Right there.
Okay.
They don't live here.
Well, everybody's here. Everybody lives here. Everybody knows the condition that Plymouth County is.
Okay, time's up. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
ridiculous. But lay out some rules, Doc.
Thank you.
So these meetings are
Right, right. You're the voice.
getting ridiculous.
This is a public process we have to go through, so, yes, in the back.
Taking a lawsuit.
Thank you. And Doc, we don't want it. Stop the rest of the business getting shut down.
My name is Dean Brackett. I've
Quiet
been
back,
here
please.
for about probably 53 years.
Enough.
Most of my life, I have worked in the timber industry. And when I first started falling again, after I got out of the Navy in 1984, the very first job I worked on, we ran into an illegal grow. Over the years, working in various places, we would run into more and more of these illegal grows. And if you can imagine, anywhere a logger's going to go around here, we went and we found illegal grow sites. If something like this can be done, I'm all for it. I'm a rabid Republican, okay? So pretty much, most all Republicans, I think, are against marijuana. Pretty much. Would you agree? Okay. I'm more the type of person that, go ahead and do your thing, I'm fine. Don't bother me, I won't bother you. My problem with it was I had a grow site right up behind my house, you can grow. And I got really tired of getting woke up by people running back and forth on the road behind my house at, 11, 1 in the morning. And then people up there screaming at one another at that same time frame. And what was happening was people were going up and stealing the guy's weed. So, something like this will work, but it has to be controlled, it has to be regulated, and it has to be inspected. My suggestion would be, learn a little bit more about the nuclear power industry and how they inspect it. Learn a little bit about the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and how they inspect and regulate that. Use that as a model. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next.
Thank you for the opportunity to make comments. My name is Bob Orange and I live in Indian Valley. I grew up in Plymouth County, then my kids and grandkids still live here. My first comment was I saw notice of this public meeting for the first time in the paper yesterday. That's not too much notification to the public of the chance to review the ordinance theory.